faithfulness, Lord, reaches higher than I've ever climbed, worth more than all I have combined. Your faithfulness, Lord, your faithfulness, Lord, expands with every breath I breathe, surpasses all expectancy. Your faithfulness, Lord, your faithfulness is a promise of your love, and in this box of treasure, open just for me. And I will sing every moment that I live, telling of your mercy and your faithfulness. Yeah.
Women have a broad range of strengths and talents that continually amaze us all. However, if there is one flaw in women, it is that they easily and often forget their worth. Keil is a woman whose own desire to remember her self-worth led her on a quest to understand how other women perceive themselves. During her travels and experiences as an author, speaker, and workshop leader, Tina has discovered that whereas every woman longs to be beautiful, to be known, to be valued, to feel special, and to matter, very few women actually believe they can attain this ideal.
I ask women if they believe that beauty is within their reach. Our society has defined beauty so narrowly that it's nearly impossible to measure up to that standard. I sure hope to change that perception in women, one heart at a time. Well, the subject of beauty seems to bring women more problems than it does comfort. Self-esteem issues, jealousy, feelings of worthlessness, and eating disorders often come from feeling deep within that we're really not worthy. So we compare ourselves to what everyone else seems to tell us is beautiful. I am committed to share with women the path that I have found that leads toward beauty. For the last few years, I've been practicing 11 very basic principles that are really making a change in my life. Now, let me say right here that I certainly haven't arrived. But the good news is that life is not about arriving, but rather becoming. And that's what's happening to me. I'm becoming free to be beautiful.
Tina has documented this philosophy in a book she co-authored with her friend Karen Ford entitled Free to be Beautiful, Ordinary Principles for an Extraordinary Life. The 11 principles of this book are designed to guide women on their journey of discovering and remembering their own self-worth.
I ask women, do you ever feel beautiful? I heard one woman say, maybe when I dress up. Well, that's situational beauty. True beauty is a core beauty, knowing who you were created to be, believing in yourself, and living out your dreams. Each one of us were created with a purpose. And not until that purpose is fully realized in our lives will we be free to be beautiful. I aspire to believe this daily for myself, and to encourage women to let their beauty be a way of life and not a situational occurrence.
A study designed to better understand women on the topic of beauty found that only a minority of women see themselves as above average in appearance, and only 2% claim to be beautiful. It showed that women are less satisfied with their beauty than with almost any other dimension of life, except financial success.
Well, I want to tell you, girlfriend, it is really true. We were created by God for a purpose. Our existence isn't random. We are not a mistake. We were created to be beautiful. Most of the time, we just don't have any idea how to walk that out. You know, we are so tempted to fall back into the trap of negatively comparing ourselves to others rather than living fruitfully with the belief that we are deeply loved. You know, this game of comparison, it's absolutely an impossible game to win because it's usually our weaknesses, the perceived worst of us, that we compare to the best of someone else. Or in the opposite scenario, we compare our very best attribute in judgment of someone else's flaws, which results in haughtiness and pride. And if you ask me, in both cases, it's unbeautiful.
Tina readily shares that for many years, she searched to find acceptance and approval from her husband. She expected to find her worth and to be known and valued through her husband's response to her.
Well, I wasn't free to be beautiful, to walk in any kind of freedom until just a few years ago. And I should say right now that I'm still learning every day how to walk in this freedom. Well, I hadn't been married 3 months before I started having all those same old feelings of not measuring up and not having something special enough to offer in this marriage. And I continue to tell myself that if I could just do the right thing, if I could just be the right way, if I could just look the right way, if I could just figure out what that right thing was. And this is how it felt for 19 years. Well, throughout all these years, all of these 19 years, I had concluded that God may not love me either. I didn't think He saw anything special in me. I mean, I had asked Him to fix all these problems that I had had, and it didn't appear that He was. I had also asked Him to take away this yearning, this deep yearning I had to be special. And the pain of being ordinary just didn't go away. So I came to the conclusion that I wasn't even special enough for God to help me. I kept on dwelling on this, so I began to believe it even more.
But her story doesn't end there. The thread that is woven through each step of Tina's journey is faith. Her message to her audience: believe and remember you are highly favored by God and walk as you were created to.
But we have to remember, ladies, that what we speak really matters. You know, earlier we talked about Cinderella, and I do love Cinderella. Do you remember the queen in the story of Snow White? You remember that evil queen, remember the apple? Okay. I know, I'm absolutely confident that I know why the queen in Snow White had such serious self-esteem issues, why she hated Snow White, and why she was determined to kill her with that apple. I know why. Each day, I'm going to tell you why. You want to know, don't you? Each day, she consulted her friend, the magic mirror. And every day, she went to that mirror, and what did she say? Ladies, say it with me. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all? Right? That's what she did. Now, she was one of us. This queen was one of us. How do I know? She wanted to be beautiful. She wanted to be special. I know it's a fairy tale analogy, but ladies, we do the same thing. What was the first mistake that the queen made? She went to the wrong mirror. She didn't go to the mirror of her creator. She summoned the mirror of an illusion and asked it if she measured up. He's brought me here to tell you that you are His treasure. You're His girls. And if no one in your family, no one in your life, not a soul, celebrates your worth, God has brought you here tonight so that He can tell you how much He loves you and how much He celebrates you, your life. He wants you to remember who you are, because you're not random. You were made on purpose and with a purpose. And He's got a good plan for your life, a good plan filled with a good future and hope. My prayer for every one of you in this room, that you may really come to know and leave here today walking in greater freedom, to believe that you are the beautiful daughters of God.
Tina is now on a mission to help her girlfriends, the Sisterhood of Women, to not only understand these principles, but to believe them and respond to the truth of what God says about them.
Do you ever forget your worth? Well, I have, more times than I can count. I used to think that I was the only person who ever forgot her worth, but I've since learned that It's a rather common occurrence, whether you're a Christian or not. But real life can be a matter of perspective. And our mission here at In Perspective is to help women and men not only believe that they are loved, but to remember how to walk out that confidence on a daily basis. To remember that they are people of great value and worth. You know, at face value, it just doesn't seem like it would be that hard to do. But I have found that there are more of us struggling with this every day than not. Whether it's through books or music or radio shows or mentoring products or live events, I hope to inspire my audience to believe that they can truly become everything that God has fashioned them to be. You know, over the last few years, my staff and I have been sharing at small group events, and corporate events, and churches around the country the message of God's passionate love and His unending pursuit of us. You know, while most of these events have been with women, I have found an amazing response from men as well. What they tell me is that they have been able to better understand and communicate with the women in their lives. I mean, can I get an amen for that? I would love to come to your community and share this message of hope in your meeting or your church, because I believe that it will make a difference in the lives of each person who attends. Together, we can find and embrace the promises of God and see them realized in our lifetime. I look forward to hearing from you. God bless.
Your faithfulness, Lord, swells like water from a spring, washes over